this question goes to the heart of the issue about immigration, which is saying we didn't get everything right in government on immigration. We introduced the points-based system in the last 2 years when we should have introduced it in the first 2 years. But, you know, I won't listen to any lectures from the Conservative government. They'd reduced, and it's still at hundreds of thousands. They're doing little about it. And the right answer is not to play on politics and fear like UKIP do. We've got to do what the Labour Party has said, which is set out a clear plan. We've got to tackle the problem of foreign agencies who are only advertising to foreign countries for jobs that are solely conducted here in Britain. Ed Miliband has said that he will do that. We've got to strengthen the minimum wage law so that people aren't coming over here from other countries and undercutting British workers. We should prosecute those people who don't pay the minimum wage, something which hasn't happened under this government and, to be fair, didn't happen under our government either. But we should be careful about our language with immigration, and we should remember this. Without any immigration, which is what Roger will tell you he wants to see, we wouldn't have had. That's what you've been saying all week on the TV. That's what Nigel Farage has been saying.
Do not tell lies.
Without any immigration to this country, I know you get very annoyed about it, Roger, but just calm down.
By you telling lies.
Without any immigration to this country, we wouldn't have had Marks and Spencers. We wouldn't have had Tesco's. We wouldn't have had great companies like Raving. We wouldn't have had Incenbard Kingdom Brunel, who built some of our best railways and some of our greatest roads and greatest infrastructure. They were all immigrants to this country, so we should be careful when using our language in this debate too.
When we arrived and we were all meeting out the back, we had 2 police officers with us, and I did wonder why it was. Now I know. Yeah. What we saw this weekend was the triumph of fear over hope. I believe in hope. I am proud that we have been a country for generations that have been open, warm, supportive to those in need. I think we should truly respect, coming back to the question, the role of other Europeans within the Second World War. Polish fighter pilots made a tremendous difference. And you know, without them, we might not have been here having this sort of debate. So we have benefited from Europe, not just for the period of the EC, but for the help that we had in the Second World War and before. My fear is the rise of the right, the rise of the parties of hate. And what we saw on Sunday across Europe was the growth in those movements. Now that presents a challenge to those of us who believe in Europe. We have got to make a far, far better, far stronger case. And that's a challenge I will take on over the next few years. So to answer the actual question, yes, if people are living here, they should have access to houses, they should have access to health, they should have access to jobs. Thank you.
Well, Malcolm, I think you raise a very welcome point in the debate on immigration in a by-election in which, of course, UKIP is looking to make some hay. Newark is a town which has had a proud record of immigration and broadly successful immigration. Anyone who takes the trouble to go to the Polish War Grave Cemetery to learn the history of General Sikorski knows that this town, of all towns, deserves a more nuanced and sensitive debate than other parts of the country, and it's certainly one that I would like to foster if I was your Member of Parliament. There are legitimate concerns about immigration. People are concerned about welfare tourism, about people coming to the country who don't want to work hard, play by the rules, contribute something to society. That's certainly not the people to which you're referring to. Immigration got out of control under the last Labour government, as we know. Michael said that I can remember to get a sensible rebalancing of this issue. Immigration has fallen by a third from its peak under Labour, and they're tackling a whole range of things, whether that's trying to tackle bogus colleges, family visas that have got a bit out of control, or whether it's trying to look at welfare tourism, making it less attractive for people from within the EU to come here. Above all, it's trying to set the rules that people who come here want to contribute, have skills that we need, and will make a real contribution to life in Newark and to the country, and are not taking jobs that otherwise go to local people. But it's a debate that we want. Don't let this by-election damage the very long and proud history we've had in this town of good relations.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had a question about integrity earlier on, and I don't think it's a good example of integrity for any one of the candidates on this platform to be telling deliberate and conscious lies about the policy of other parties. We in UKIP want a managed immigration policy based on numbers and skills. We are not against immigration. The idea that I've heard from Nick Clegg and others that we want to pull up the drawbridge is nonsense. We recognise the importance of immigration, but we also recognise the problems created by excessive mass immigration for housing, schools, hospitals, our welfare system, and so on. What we have today is a highly discriminatory system in which the government is forced to let in any Europeans who wish to come, including Europeans with extremely low skills. And it's no good Robert telling us that they're trying to control those because as long as we're in the European Union we can't. The government's response is a dramatic squeeze on immigrants from elsewhere. So we are favouring, for example, unskilled Eastern Europeans while we are denying access to highly skilled people from, for example, the Commonwealth. What we want is a system, rather like the Australian system, a point system, in which we agree the overall numbers, but within those numbers we get the skills that people need. And can I just say, if I have a moment in conclusion, I have enormous respect for the Poles and the job they did in the Second World War. We have absolutely nothing against foreign nationals in this country are entitled to equal treatment with everyone else.
If you have nothing against other foreign nationals in this country, Roger, then why did your party leader, in a rather embarrassing for his part anyway, interview say just a week or so ago about Romanians moving in next door? That would indicate the exact opposite. One of our sort of comment lines on the Green Party is hope not fear, and that's what this campaign is about. It's not advocating fear for, as I said earlier, laying the ills of society at one particular group, one particular nation coming into the country. We live in a free Europe, free travel throughout Europe, and in the same way that people from this country go and live and work in other countries within Europe, people come to this country as well, and we benefit from that. Now, after the weekend results in the Euros, which I don't think were really typical of what most people in this country feel, we have to bear in mind it's only 35% of the people that actually voted. 90% of people in this country didn't vote for UKIP. Well, quite right, but they didn't vote for the racist policies of UKIP either. We need to work together. We need to stop blaming people, and we need to welcome people into the country, regardless of what skills they have. It needs to be a non-discriminatory migration policy that is managed, but that is fair to all people.